Hello, and welcome to another episode of My Opinion Means Nothing. Today on my show, I am joined by a very special guest. He goes by the name of Sean Rivers. Hello, man.
Hello.
How you doing?
Very well. Very well indeed.
Well, I'm going to ask you how your day was just for the
Just for a laugh.
of the show, you know.
Well,
Although I do somewhat know.
you've been brought in.
Yes.
You've been brought into the Sean Rivers show that was today. I mean, it was started off pretty good. I woke up. I finished off some writing from yesterday. I was watching something on Netflix on plastic.
Oh, okay.
Just because I'm massively aware of how much we use and how much is around and how bad it is. I'm totally aware. But I was still I'm really curious to work out exactly. It was an interesting watch, and I sort of woke up this morning. I had some stuff to write to get out, and that was quite nice to get up, and I had some ideas to jot down. So I started working on a poem around that theme. I was like, right, okay, cool. And then I had to go meet a friend in Soho, and I've not seen her for a little while. 2 years in fact. So in fact she came to a gig of mine last week, so I said let's just meet up and sometimes at a gig you can't get a chance to chat
not
because
properly because there's all the noise
and
it's all
you're sort of
on.
wrapped up in what you're about to go and do. So we went to the French house in Soho, a couple of cheeky halves and stuff, all cash, all going well, but then it was the route back because I was aware I got to meet. So that's when, after I finished my pints, half pints in there, and I was like, because it's French, and I was like, right, I need to go and get a memory stick, USB, which is a bit of an old school purchase, but I'm aware I've got to get that done before tomorrow. Where suddenly I was like, oh no, I've got things that I need to do now. I got comfortable. I was like, oh no, I've got this interview with this podcast with Corey. I've got to get back for that. I said 6. We've been chatting a while. I wasn't stressed because I'm not very stressed. Then I was like, oh wait, if I actually had today off, I enjoyed meeting my friend, but I was actually really now I'm near Soho, Oxford Circus, and it's kind of not my area to be in the baking sun.
Yeah.
I was, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, I've been chatting just at that point where it's now rush hour. So I was like, okay, it's going to change pace. I was like, your life's about to change pace, Sean. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to get up and do a bit of writing and see. Now you've got to leg it, get this USB, get back on time, because I said 6 o'clock or whatever.
6, yeah.
And so jumped. Oh, I was walking down. I got the USB, not from Maplin because they're shutting down. It was 80% off. There was literally 2 things left in the shop because everyone's just been buying it. There was definitely no USBs. Got it from somewhere else. I was like, right, I'll walk to the bus. Got on the 134, and then he just broke down.
Oh.
Yeah, he started just but he didn't make any announcements or anything. It's just confusing. So I was like, I don't want to go over. I was like, I think I'm owed a explanation for this, right? And I was like, but excuse me, man, you've not really said anything. You just really we're at standstill. People are a bit confused because you at least make an announcement, because I got on one stop ago. If you knew you were going to stop here, could you have not, I couldn't have not got on this, not be in the situation. And he was a little bit arsy, but then he's like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. This humming sound is only low pressure, and basically we're broken. I can't move. Here's your ticket for the next bus. So he gave me my ticket. I was like, okay, bit annoying, because we literally just, you just sat there going, oh, we'll get moving in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get moving in a minute. Oh, sure, he'll make an announcement in a minute. And maybe I was too chilled. I was like, oh, now I'm just sat here, and I'm,
None the wiser.
none the wiser.
Yeah.
So I was like, they walked down. I was like, right, maybe I should get a little bite to eat because I haven't eaten. And if we're doing the interview, I'm not going to get a chance to cook till later. So I was like, Greggs is close. And me being a northerner has a soft spot for a Greggs. And that bit where I walked past Warren Street, and it was Northern Line, I was like, if I get on this now, at this moment, I'll be back quick, because it's just before rush hour and it's only a couple of stops. And I was like, I need the Greggs though. I need a little bite, That decision made things a lot worse. Usually the decision to purchase at Greggs, it makes things a lot better. I'm not an advert here, but I was like, went and got it, and then I was like, well, it's too far back to walk to Warren Street. I'll just keep walking down, jump to the next bus. This is packed out because it had the overspill from everyone. So we're baking hot in a greenhouse on wheels, going so slow. I think a snail overtook us at one point. And I was like, hang on a minute, I feel like I'm sat still again, right? And now it's getting even hotter. I was like, it's my day off and it's beautiful and I've had a good day. So I'm going to remove myself from this world. I'm going to get back on my feet. I'm going to be a bit late. I'm going to walk down. I'm going to get there whenever. Corey's a cool guy. He'll find something to do. He'll find a nearby playground.
Or a park or a wood.
Park. Yeah. And so I'm sure that'll be fine. Then I love a charity shop. Oh, and then there's that particular one where things got even longer, more drawn out. Is a really good one. I was like, I need to pop in here, and for something. So I just think it's the best way to get stuff is get it from charity shop. It's cheap. You know what I mean?
Of course. And people throw away old tat that they think is old, but really and truly is other people's bargains. Or like sometimes people throw away crazy things in the charity shops. Like I don't know, you can find like limited edition DVDs that people are throwing away. And they're like, oh well, I don't want to watch this anymore. But then
books as well, first editions.
First editions you find a lot in charity shops.
I got a John Lennon poetry book.
Oh wow!
Weirdly, he put a poetry book out.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's quite odd. Some work better than others. Cool cover. Some of it's very nonsensical, like almost like Syd Barrett, Pink Floyd. That that kind of that English trippy sort of psychedelic.
When was the poetry book written? Was it before the Beatles or during it? Or?
I think it was as he'd just gone solo.
Oh, okay.
So he started to, hang out with Yoko and think, oh, I'll write a few poems. She's arty, I might as well be. But I got that book. I mean, it's and that's, I checked it and it's like a few £100 online. I got it for like £8. And like just didn't have a clue, but you can get. Anyway, I went in and got this jacket, a black one that's tight fitted, for like £7. But when I was getting I was going to pay for it in coins, so I got all my coins out and laid them out on the counter, and I laid my keys out, and
amongst the coins.
Yeah, amongst the coins, and then paid on card. Put my coins back in, didn't put the key in, came out, carried on walking down. See, I was like, I've walked this far, I'll walk more. Got there, met you, and then we were chatting. Everything was cool, and then I was like, that thing of the keys, and I was just like, I'm not the guy who leaves keys. Just because like that's not my thing, because I just value your bed. I'm making sure I take my keys out and they come home.
You do the check before phone, keys, wallet. I've got everything.
I mean phone and wallet, but keys I always keep.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a bit weird, and I was like, no one's in the house. So I mean, again, it's a beautiful day. We could have done many things. We would have ended up having a good chat, whether we were recording or not. But it's like, and I was like, no, but rang the charity shop, and she was like, I've got them. I was like, I knew it, because I just like, it's when you're distracted a little bit, because I was thinking, it's your fault. And I'm thinking,
I knew it.
You know what I mean? It's like, you're just thinking, I've got it's when you get stressed or rushed.
Yeah.
That's when you go slow, that's when everything stays where it is.
When you take
it's when you
time,
get in there, it's that sort of thing.
Like you were saying about feeling rushed before at your old place, like you don't tend to get a lot of things done if you feel rushed, or you rush to do it, but then you're not doing your best work because you're rushing to get it done.
Exactly, slow down. I've come that also health-wise, stress, it's that's the main one, and it's such in a weird way, you can't avoid it, but at the same time it's such an unnecessary one. When you just breathe and you close your eyes and you go, is it that important? It will all work out, is it that? And it actually, most of the time, it isn't worth
it's not really
what your
stressing
about. The small ones, big things happen to you, and you got to deal with that. But that's a different kind of stress. But the small scale day to day, you can just not get caught up in nothing.
And then a lot of the time, I find that depending on who you talk to, there's certain people that they try and put whatever they're going through on you instead of just using you as a kind of someone to vent at, and they try and put it on you, and then you feel that kind of weird energy, like you're putting this onto me, and now I need to carry what you're giving me, and it
you
feels.
Know what? That is a big thing to learn, because when you've got a good calm energy like me and you've got, you draw in people who haven't got that. They're still nice people, but they have a different energy, and they gravitate weirdly because they want your energy. What ends up happening is sometimes you absorb and take on theirs. Keep your own. So if you keep your own being when you're on that. It's like when I go to this, my friend does this night. He's a performer, but he has to put on a night, and he goes to pieces. He gets so stressed because he's not a promoter or a host. He's a acoustic performer, and he's so calm on stage. But when he has to do these, he always pulls them off, and I help out. But he gets so stressed, and what I do when he comes over and it's like and he almost wants, out of comfort, me to be as stressed as him. But actually, I just, in a weird way, that would help them. But I just stay. I've got to perform in a minute. So I can't be losing I got to stay in my place, stay calm. Hopefully, offer you some of my calmness. But at the same time,
you need to be willing to accept
that. Yeah. So that's how we all work, isn't it? Really. When you want that energy as well, if you think, they've got a good energy, and you go and copy their good energy, that can be great because you then bounce. That's a funny one I've actually thought about, is that sometimes by being pulled into people's energy, you lose your sense of self. Sometimes in relationships, talk about there's always a third entity in the room. So you've got me and you now, where we create, what we project out is creating a third, this invisible person. And we put into that, and we put into that. So we have me, we have you, and we have the third, which is what we are creating whilst we talk.
And I guess, like, the more you spend time with a person, the more that third becomes
one, and you morph into the third. And weirdly, I've sometimes got out of relationships when I've clocked that I'm going into a new person. So that's because I like to keep me, and I've enjoyed the relationships I've been in when I've been in them. So they're not, I'm not saying anything negative, but I always, when I lose too much of me, I have to retreat a bit. I think that's maybe something I need to learn and have.
But then also at the same time, I find it interesting because you get to kind of be a different version of yourself. In that given situation. So you might be more, I guess, relaxed about certain things that your partner might do, but that being in that situation. But if it was any other person, you would probably maybe tell them that what they're doing is wrong or something like that, or you might. It's I don't know. You do it in any type of relationship. Really, it's just. I thought about it. It's like kind of a thing where everything that you do it for yourself, and it's kind of, am I okay with this? And it has to be okay with you to an extent, not all the time, but to an extent. You have to be kind of somewhat, not, I don't think the word is comfortable, but do you get what I mean? Like, you have to have that conversation with yourself, like, okay, this is what it is, this is the situation I'm in. I know it's not right, I'm not possibly maybe safe, but how it is now, or this part of it, I feel okay, kind of thing. You I don't know, it's hard to explain, but...
Well, so you're saying, when you're with that person, you express a different way that you wouldn't usually.
But it's kind of, for example, you might know that if you react a certain way with a certain person, although that's normal for you to act that way, you can't, because you may get a different reaction of that person than you would get of any other person. So you have to kind of pull that side of you back a little bit.
Yeah.
But then you know that at the same time, I'm okay with pulling that part of me back a little bit.
Yeah, so yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's okay to sacrifice a part of yourself to make that other person feel at ease or better in the situation.
Yeah.
That's being good, being a good person as well, and sort of not being selfish as well. But you can be more selfish as a person in a relationship than when you're single, in a weird way. You think that being single gives you chance to be selfish because you're looking after self.
Yeah.
Because being selfish isn't always a bad word as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going
to say.
Yeah.
Taking time to put yourself first and put your needs first is actually the most important thing for when you get into a relationship anyway. And now I'm single at the minute, it's like I'm much more sociable. I'll do things like this. I'll meet that friend today.
Yeah.
I'll, go and see more people, because I think there's a world you get into with a relationship, which is not. It can be a bit. You go around as this thing, and you close.
Yeah.
You go and you come back, and you report back to the one. So you go out and you report back. You go this and you report back, and you don't have more time for yourself and other people.
Do you know, like you said, the third person thing? Do you know when people say that when people are in relationships, they see him as one person? I just got that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's literally like you guys come as a package deal now, so I'll contact you and I know I'm getting you with.
Exactly. And that is bad, in my opinion. It's like, it is, we have to hold on. That's what I'm saying. I want to now work out, so when I go into the next one, I know fully where I am at and what's going on and where my world is. And I don't make too much sacrifices to how I conduct myself. But when I come together with this person, it's great.
Because you need,
and they,
because you need your world,
Yeah.
they need their world,
Yeah.
and then you need your life together.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you spend too much time together, then
you lose.
What am I sharing with you? Then if I spend all my time with you and I go out, I come straight back to you. I'm not doing anything else other than seeing you.
Yeah.
What is there new for me to tell you that's going on in my life?
Yeah.
So it's.
So this is what. So now. Yeah. So I'm gonna stay like this for a little bit, because I just feel much more. I feel weirdly connected to a higher plane now. I'm on my own.
Yeah.
Because I'm not. Well, physically, I'm not having as much physical activity. So every time you go into a member of whichever sex you're into, you're going into that world, and there's an attachment, physical attachment, and of the physical plane, which we get, and the same way you have an attachment to this cup or this thing, or it obviously with the human they're not a cup. I'm just saying you get a this level worldly attachment when you go and you can, when you go single a bit and you're wandering around and you feel a bit more maybe alone, you weirdly feel a bit more connected to the non-attachment of the physical here.
Yeah.
So you're more open to something above you. I find that anyway.
I don't know, because we're on this topic. It's like, I don't know if you found it, but when you're in a relationship, or I feel like when you're not in a relationship, although you're looking for something, what you're looking for is never looking for you. But then the moment you become unavailable and then you're suddenly in a relationship, everything that you were looking for is suddenly looking at you and now wants you.
Yeah. That's the ego, that's the trickery.
Yeah.
It's the ego and trickery of man. Yeah, true. You always think there's that, in a way it's like you think you want, because you got that, you think you want that and that and that.
Yeah.
You forget what you've got, which can happen. But we probably shouldn't do a whole relationship episode.
No, of course.
It
was
it's
just conversation.
But
it
went there, didn't it? I like it.
I
like it. We're talking more about relationships to each other, as friends, as people who run nights,
Yeah.
people who in relationships.
Just relationships. Everything is,
Yeah.
I want to say, fueled by relationships.
Yeah.
You need to have some sort of relationship with someone to make things work. Like, even if they're not your friend
Yeah.
or they're your work
Yeah.
colleague, you still have some rapport with something.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can have a
And just to
conversation.
be absolutely clear, I wasn't comparing any previous girlfriends to cups. Okay, that was just because we have a cup in our
Yeah, we're
hand.
drinking green tea,
Cheers.
innit?
We're drinking a green tea, rock and roll. You know, that's why I said cup. But yeah, girls or boys and humans are better than cups, definitely. But it's just energy, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cup's the same as me.
So let's talk about the first topic that I do in my show is what's happening in the world. And I was sending you a few of the headlines for some of the articles that I found during the week. So I'll start with the first one, which is Florida City freaks residents out with an extreme zombie activity.
In Florida,
Yes, it's happened in Florida.
So there's been a zombie activity in Florida. I've seen a lot of zombies in my time. I actually have. Mostly at festivals and raves. The following morning, walking around. You know, that's what was it just somebody on drugs, walking through Florida?
Basically.
Or was it an actual zombie?
There was a false. There was basically there was a town. Well, let me find these. Where's the city? The city of Lake Worth in Florida.
Yeah.
They suffered a power outage, and it was after midnight when these things were happening. And obviously, because of the power outage,
Yeah.
they had someone put on the emergency alert that went citywide that said that there was extreme zombie activity, that because they thought that the power outage was apparently somewhat paranormal.
So there's a power cut
There was a power cut, yeah.
after midnight.
Yeah, after midnight, and then
in this place, Florida.
so they put out, obviously the police put out like an alert warning, and basically the alert said power outage and zombie alert for residents of Lake Worth and Terminus. There are now far less than 7,380 customers involved due to the extreme zombie activity, resulting restoration time uncertain. So that's the alert that they put out.
So they put the local council or whatever put out a message of zombies
Yeah, in the power outage.
as a joke. Or are we saying that
I'm not sure if it was a joke. I think it was genuinely in.
you think there genuinely are zombies out there?
I
That they
think
were warning the people of.
No, I think they had a genuine zombie. They had a genuine zombie alert. That's what they have. They have a genuine zombie alert in their power outage. So obviously, I'm either someone's hacked into it and put it in there, or in the power outage thing with
So
the alert.
they hacked the power outage bit and put zombie.
They put the zombie in.
Yeah.
That's what I think may have happened, but.
For a minute, it sounded like, no, Sean, there is zombies here.
Yeah, no, it says, officially haven't secretly geared up for zombie apocalypse. Opponents, someone's hacked into the system and pre-programmed the thing to change the alert that went out. But still, pretty
Did
funny.
you hear about that human zombie that took too much bath salts and ran down the road trying to eat people and got ran over by a car and like twice? Yeah, yeah, he's in jail now. Yeah, like that. It wasn't him, was it, in this place?
No. But the next one is I didn't kind of get the title, the headline when I read it. So this airline asked the mother to prove that she was related to her mixed race son.
Ooh, okay, because one of them was too. What, light or dark? Is that what we're saying? It didn't match.
Southwest Airlines had to apologize after one of its officials asked a Californian basketball coach to prove that she was the mother of her biracial son.
Why would they ask her to prove? Oh, for the passport at the.
Yeah, because she was white.
Yeah.
And obviously she had all the passport details and
Yeah.
everything, but they were saying that after showing his passport, she was asked for further evidence of.
Which first of all, which country was it?
I think might have been America. Yeah,
sounds about right.
South Africa.
Oh.
Wait, Californian basketball coach. So I assume it's somewhere in America.
Yeah.
That happened.
Well, I mean, my brother recently went to India.
Yeah.
I'm mixed race, and if you put me next to my dad, and then next to my brothers, I'm the lightest. Okay, so yeah, maybe you wouldn't directly know that my dad and me were related. But once we start talking, so once we smile, once we the persona, yeah, you definitely would. But so anyway, my brother was going to India, and in a way, this is I kind of get that they had to do that. I mean, I think they genuinely suspected because basically, so he's going to India. He's got to stop at he stops in Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
Somewhere there, and yeah, they to fly, and they got him into the passport office and said, "We're sorry, we don't think that is you in your passport, so we gonna have to ask you some questions and stuff." And it was the nose. They didn't think it was his nose. The thing was though, what is your passport? It's what is it? 8? How many years is it? It's like 8 years, no?
Pretty much 8 years.
Right, so
8 to 10.
give or take, I might be wrong, but it's definitely something like that. So, in his photo, he had a skinhead.
Yeah.
And he was so the difference between 18 and then nearly the end of your 20s, whatever, it's quite a big thing in your face.
Yeah.
So now he's got long hair down to here. He's grown it, and yeah, they just So I mean. Yeah, maybe it kind of I don't know how. What do you think about that story?
I've been reading it on towards the end, and it said that obviously according to the airline's policy, customer service agents must verify the child's age at the airport, and they have to prove with government, obviously official documents. But if I show you my son's passport, I mean, what? I mean, why would I have to verify this is my child if...
Yeah.
If
I'm at the airport.
If I'm at the airport, I mean, unless there's a warning out that some mixed race child has been kidnapped, then I may understand that.
Yeah, what are you saying? Because if you're saying that I'm not, then who am I?
Yeah, exactly.
What am I doing with this kid?
What is your reason for stopping? It's kind of like the whole thing with stop and search, and then it's mainly black kids that are being stopped and searched in a part fair compared to white kids. But I mean, it's that kind of thing. Why are you stopping me?
Yeah.
Why do I need it? I'm just kind of trying to think about it and put in the mother's situation. She's just come back from holiday, and then she's now faced with this. Somewhat, she might have had might have been a long flight or whatever, and now all she wants to do is go home and put her feet up, and she's being faced with, is this your child?
And I thought I had problems forgetting my keys.
Yeah, you know. I don't know. In 2018, I want to say it doesn't surprise me, but I want to say it does surprise me, but it kind of doesn't. And I find that really bad to actually think that things like this don't surprise me that it's happening.
Yeah.
It's quite sad, but
what was the outcome then? What happened?
The airline apologized and
upgraded her to first class.
Well, let me read these tweets. So basically, because she's verified on Twitter and everything, so she tweeted at them. She said she's appalled that after approximately 50 times flying with her 1-year-old son, tickets counter personnel told her that she had to prove that her son was her son, despite having his passport. She said, because we have a different last name, but she said her guess is because he has a different skin color. But so what if they have a different surname? It could be.
Oh, but if it was a different surname, that would throw up. They would have to check that.
I guess
they
so.
would.
I guess
they
so.
would.
I guess
they
so.
would.
But I mean, if you've flown on the same airline
Yeah.
many times and you've had no problems, and then suddenly this one day, what's
okay,
changed?
so that's true. If
That's
they were
what-
used to.
That's what her
Yeah.
shit her. I think.
Yeah. Well, racism is everywhere, but this particular one, I think there might definitely be something in it, but also maybe it wasn't completely out and out. I don't know. I'm not sure. on this.
Maybe it's just a job's worth, I guess.
Yeah. You know, someone being, because you get that, it might have been really square rather than racist.
Then, yeah.
You know.
That's the thing nowadays. Like, the word of the use. I don't want to skew it from this situation. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I wasn't there, so I can't talk about that.
True.
It feels like in this day and age that people get so easily offended at little things.
Yeah.
Or things where I'm not trying to offend you. You have to be so careful what you're saying nowadays.
Yeah.
Because if I say it the wrong way, then she might take it this way, and then then she calls the police, and then you know, like that. It's crazy, but I mean, in this situation, it could be because of the different last names. It could have been because of the different skin tones.
Yeah, it could have been a combination of them
I mean,
as well.
I understand that it's not a common thing, but maybe on that day, that guy was just like, he looked at you, he's like, huh?
Yeah.
Can you verify that? Like, maybe it's not a common thing, but he just wanted to be sure that it could have been.
Yeah.
It
might not have been, but
yeah.
But yeah.
Who knows? What is next? We have Kim Kardashian asks Trump to pardon her jailed grandmother.
What's the grandmother done?
So her grandmother has been behind bars for more than 2 decades.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For a first.
It's some interesting facts
Yeah,
about
no,
Kim
no,
Kardashian.
I
I didn't think it was possible.
When I saw the article, I was like, what is this? She's meeting Trump? What's this about?
Well, the Kardashians are pretty snaky.
But
they go some.
She has been in prison for over 2 decades for a first time drug offense.
Okay.
So the reason why she's involved in the case is because her grandmother has been in prison for not 200 years, but 20 years, 2 decades. And you know how let's do the backstory first.
Yeah.
Who Alice Marie Johnson.
Let's find out more. What's she doing?
Alice Marie Johnson, who is Kim Kardashian's grandmother.
Yeah.
She was sentenced to life in prison without parole in 1996 for a first-time non-violent drug offense.
A non-violent drug offense?
Yeah, 96.
Because what? Because I love that phrasing, as if because you've done drugs, you're gonna be violent.
Yeah. She was convicted of being a telephone mule.
All right.
Relaying messages between drug distributors and sellers. According to her family and supporters, Johnson has been a model inmate who is active in many programs, including work in the prison hospice. She fitted all of the criteria for former Barack Obama's clemency project in 2014, but she was denied just days before the end of his term.
Okay.
So obviously, when that happened to her, she was denied because I think the clemency project was the thing where Barack Obama, anyone who was maybe falsely incarcerated, he was.
What drugs? So she was being I missed that part.
She was a telephone mule, which means she was relaying messages between drug distributors and sellers.
So she's almost like a middleman.
Yeah, pretty much. She was the one picking up the phone. I guess.
Liaison.
Yeah, very much. And
not the worst crime in the world.
I guess not.
What 20 years for? Was it big
she
dealers?
She got life in prison without parole. Yeah.
That's what she got.
Yeah. first time non-violent drug offence. Life, no parole. For
That is cold.
you know, life of. I mean, not even like, okay, this is your first.
Yeah.
I understand it's I guess a gravity to the of what she did, but first time offence.
Life. But
Not
so now, not that this, because if she's Kim Kardashian's grandmother,
yeah.
so not that it should play a part, because there's so many people that have had, who aren't Kim Kardashian's grandmother, who've had more horrific things happen.
Of course, yeah.
But I'm thinking, was she not in a position of money? It sounds like that side.
I think
if she was doing job.
I think it's.
Kardashians are some of the richest people in America.
It would be
right the way through their family tree, no?
Kardashian is her dad.
Yeah,
so Johnson, I assume that's her mum's mum.
So that side was not looked after. Yeah. Okay, not that should be able to get her out.
Yeah, but
what I'm saying is, if she must not have been obviously connected, which is
it must.
Which is sad.
I mean, it must mean that
she didn't get any
her grandma
cut of the pie.
Like that's what I mean. That's what I'm thinking.
Do you know what I mean?
But although this was in '96,
so they were still quite. They've gone on for.
When did they
the
come into fruition? Like
the OJ trial.
The OJ.
That linked. See, basically, the Kardashians are big.
Yeah. Because obviously I watched the OJ thing. Yeah. So
they've had money in their family for years.
Yeah.
But what happened when the OJ trial was
Rob Kardashian.
Rob Kardashian.
Yeah. Rob?
Yeah, I think we're right. No, I think we're right. That's his name. No, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Is it?
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm gonna look it up.
Let's just call him Ross from Friends because he played him in
the.
Let's just call him Ross.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Ross Kardashian. Because I was so basically Ross Kardashian, and that whole OJ thing in a way was the first seeds of reality TV. Okay, that's the first seeds of reality TV in a weird way for America, because that's what it became. So all those names associated with OJ started to go, because they've been brought into court and their name's been called up, and they started to use that fame to then set up.
Because no one used to get their name. Because I found that. Did you watch the OJ versus the People?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ross from Friends.
Yeah, of course. So obviously, they never used to get his name right.
Yeah.
And now it's funny that they never used to get his name right back then, and he was kind of the guy who pretty much helped get OJ off.
Yeah.
And now the Kardashians are in everyone's mouth, and no one gets that name wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what you're saying. I mean. They were the seeds.
They were the seeds right there. That's how you got the Kardashian show from the OJ trial.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
So I'm blaming OJ.
Hey man.
For that. Oh man, that was Did you watch that then?
I did watch.
How gripping and fascinating was that?
It was so interesting. It
was about so many things, but the crime itself, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
the performances were brilliant as well, I've got to say. Every single person in it.
Gooding Jr., what is his name?
Johnny Cochran. I thought it was him. I thought he'd turn up and played himself. I thought it was that good.
Yeah. But it was interesting to see it from this way on.
Yeah.
And because a lot of it, I've heard the stories because I grew. I guess I was born in '91, so it was happening while I was growing up. I heard of OJ, but not really know who he is much until you do the research and you find out he was this baseball player and everything like that. But then, did you know how did he come out of prison now?
Oh no, he's in for I don't think he's had his sentence. I think he's still in for those.
Is he still in?
For the
because I thought he was coming out.
I thought it's at that point where he's either he was given the chance, but they didn't allow it didn't go through. So I think I'd like to get facts on that because I know it was coming up when he was either due to have his appeal basically.
Appeal. One,
But whether he got his appeal and it didn't go through, I don't think he's out. But it's funny. If the glove don't fit,
But did you...
Can't convict. That was the line that won it.
Yeah.
When he's messing about with that glove. Overacting. And then he's an actor though, wasn't he? Have you seen Naked Gun?
Yeah.
Oh.
But like, it was funny that...
He ain't that good an actor because you can clearly see.
But he, did you know that at the time when he was going down to, when he got sentenced and put in prison, he was looking to buy like NBC.
I know. Yeah.
And if he had actually, had gone through and he didn't go to prison, can you imagine?
Or is that enough reason to, wasn't that, Tiger Woods as well?
Tiger Woods.
He was just, you know, are you sure it was the OJ case that was about to happen? Because it's funny.
No. I remember I heard it.
I wonder if that's part of the.
I'm not sure if I heard it on someone else's podcast or I looked it up and stuff after I heard it, but 100% he was about to buy some big.
So do you think possibly that seems a bit convenient? Are you saying that they did that to stitch him up?
Hey man, NBC, I love your programming.
Yeah. No, because it's interesting.
But no, it's interesting. It is. It's
part of the deep-rooted racism in America. Yeah. Can't have him owning that show, that program.
But at the same time, technically.
Or do they just choose when to reveal? So we're keeping tabs. You stay there, but don't try and get our show. But so in a way, he did do it, but they chose to bring it up to the surface.
No, but I mean, did you see the hidden tapes? They released them quite recently. Where I can't remember, have NBC or Fox or somewhere, they found like an interview that they had lost, and it basically was an interview of OJ, and he was talking about his book that he wrote.
Yeah, if I did it, this is how. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I haven't read it, but
and basically in this interview, the interviewer was basically asking him about certain parts of the book where he talks about if he did it.
Yeah.
And the way how he's talking about it, the whole thing, it kind of sounds like he did it. He's like he says, obviously the character, if I did it, like I would obviously go into the
confession.
But then the way how he's not talking about the book as in, because obviously the book's written in the first person as well. So then when he's talking about the book, instead of saying he's then saying, well, then I obviously around that time I would have been this and that. And you're just like,
I'd like to hear that actually.
Oh wait, I'll try and see if I can find it on YouTube for you. If I did it, yeah, OJ, was it if I did OJ interview?
What happens if you need a wee whilst we're recording?
Oh, then you just go out.
You'll have to hold it in.
And I'll just talk on my own. Let me find the clip. I would have watched it though. So, guys, I'll just do this while Sean goes to the loo. It's just me and you guys. I never usually talk to you alone. Maybe I should do a show all by myself. Or maybe that's kind of long. Anyway, thank you at home for listening. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to subscribe on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's all at My Opinion Means. And send us an email if you want to get your opinion heard, or you just want to share your opinion about the show. I would love to hear it. Actually, hang on. This is I'm trying to not make there be dead silence, and it's so hard if I'm the only human in the room. So, is it this one? I'm just going to click 2018, this one.
That's everybody right now. Dropshipping, follow the Facebook ads.
Alright.
OJ Simpson is making headlines again, this time for an old interview that was recorded 12
Yeah. This is the one, right? No, but there's a better one.
You find it?
I think so.
Yeah.
The highlights, this one, I think it might be.
In 2006, more than a decade after being acquitted of the murders of his
Well,
ex-wife,
they're all
Nicole Brown
Australian.
Simpson, and her friend, Ronald Goldman, O.J. Simpson gave an interview promoting the release of his then upcoming book, If I Did It. Today, for the very first time, that interview aired to the world, and it is just insane.
This is very difficult for me to do this.
During his much publicised 1995
I don't
trial,
want this
OJ
part. I just want the highlights.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, just to make this clear, I'm not getting them confused or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're two separate people who share the same skin colour. However, Tiger Woods, okay, he had a similar situation, which I don't want to tie the two in together, but I definitely know that he was in a position where he was about to buy something in America, which was high up. I don't know if it was TV, I don't know what it was. And just around that time, all of his affairs that he had with these girls came out, and it tarnished him.
Yeah.
Okay, so weirdly, both of those people were good at playing to white America. They played it very well. They played the golf. They wore the same sort of preppy type clothes, and they were, conservative white America quite liked OJ and Tiger Woods, and they played to that a little bit. And I don't know whether we've hit something of whether they could have both been instigated to coincide at the right time, if you know what I mean. Is that what we were sort of getting towards?
It kind of.
I'd have to check what Tiger Woods, but I remember reading that about Tiger Woods. I was thinking, so maybe they didn't, because that's how, I mean, to move away from, say, like, even the racial element, just the media element is kind of like, that's how it all works anyway, what you put out and when things come out. And if the whole thing of like, he's going to get that, okay, but how can we not get him to get that? It works, what we could really do with it. It works a lot in politics, dirty campaigns and things. Now, though, of course, with news, we're in this sort of over-information where any headline is chucked around and we are more clueless than ever, even though we're more intelligent than ever.
But
it's
the thing
weird.
is that they put out headlines. Everything's a clickbait now. It's just, how am I going to get this clicks? Let's put some crazy things in the headline. So everyone's going to click there, and that's what happens for me. I'm just like, what happened? You click on the headline, you read it, you're just like, hey, it wasn't as crazy as you made out in this title, but still pretty insane.
Yeah.
But I think this is...
In minutes, OJ puts himself, hypothetically, at the scene of the crime.
Yeah, this is the one.
Okay.
The chapter 6 is called The Night in Question. And you write in the book, now picture this and keep in mind that this is hypothetical.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me what might have happened on the night of June 12th, 1994? And let's just walk through the night.
Well, first of all, this is very difficult for me to do this. It was very difficult for me because it's hypothetical. I know and I accept the fact that people are going to feel whatever way they're going to feel. They're going to, whatever they want to feel. In the book, the hypothetical is...
Charlie pulls out.
Charlie. This guy Charlie shows up, the guy who I had recently become friends with, and I don't know why he had been by Nicole's house, but it told me you wouldn't believe what's going on over there. And I remember thinking, well, whatever's going on over there has got to stop, right? So we kind of hooked up together, and I'm kind of broad stroking this. We go over. Get in the Bronco and go over.
Let's just go back and do the details. Where did you park?
This is the detail.
You park
in the hypothetical in the alley.
Right. You park in the alley.
Yeah.
And you put on a wool cap and gloves.
In the hypothetical, I put on a cap and gloves.
Right. And you reached under the seat for?
A knife. I always kept a knife in the car for the crazies and stuff because you can't travel with a gun. And I remember Charlie
You
said,
see
"You
what I
ain't bringing
mean?
that." I didn't. Right?
Although you're
So now
talking about a
he's-
hypothetical, you always kept a
Charlie
knife
took the
in your
knife.
in your car though.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
It's hypothetical,
the
but
back
OJ
gate.
did.
You
Actually,
go through the
OJ
back
did
gate,
it.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
we know.
and
But
it was open or broken or
I don't recall.
okay.
I go to the front and I'm looking to see what's going on.
now he's dropped the character. It's like he's trying to
I
hold
can
on
see
to this hypothetical,
Yeah.
and then partway through he just went, okay. I'm in the character.
Candles
It's
on
like
all the
he's
time
doing bad
to really
acting,
get
and
the
then he went
camera
method,
overhead
and he went in.
And music was on, and
just
while
the
I was there,
detail.
a guy
It's-
shows up. You know,
So Ron
Too
Goldman
detailed
comes
for
in the
someone
back
who's
gate.
hypothetically
a guy that
talking
really
about a
didn't
case.
recognize.
Yeah.
I may have
Well,
seen
many
him
people
around,
saw this
but
as
I
a
really
confession
didn't
that
recognize
he
him to
was
be
able to
anyone.
the law
Yeah.
flaunt.
And,
But you know what? When I watched it,
in the mood I was in, I started having words with him.
wow,
He says to you, "I just
it-
came by
I
to
don't know, it
return a
was
pair of
such a,
glasses. Judy left them at the restaurant."
Yeah.
powerful thing because it made me cry in parts. The racism in the California Police Department, and in a weird way how Johnny Cochran was so driven to highlight that because he was amazing, charismatic lawyer, innit? And he had this almost like desire to overlook the murder to make a point about the racism in America, and in a weird way what did he do? Did he do good or bad for the state of affairs in America? The OJ case is fascinating.
It is.
This is what when I watched it, I was just like, oh, there's too many things floating around.
So many things happening.
Right.
There's the time it was happening.
Yeah, the
and-
90s, you had with the riots.
Yeah.
Even with with the gun crime, with the riots, with the when was Tupac in
96, he died.
an OJ trial was
OJ's trial. Come on. OJ. No. OJ trial.
was it earlier than that, or was it around the same time?
95, I would
95.
have said,
Yeah. There's a documentary on who
yeah,
killed
95.
who killed Tupac, and they look at the California Police Department as well.
That's
You
kind of
know?
interesting.
Yeah, they look
actually.
at them.
That happened around that
Yeah,
time. And then Tupac dies the
Yeah.
next year. And
He was
people.
killed by the. They think they was killed by the
Oh,
police. Yeah.
yeah, well, police or someone within his camp coming with the
Massive time in America. Yeah.
a lot of things that shaped how we are now and
Yeah.
made more so how America is now happened around the end of the 90s.
Yeah. Some great music was coming out in America. Some brilliant hip hop was coming out. The hip hop stars of America were almost the 60s rock stars, if in a weird way. Like, do you know what I mean by that?
No,
Like,
I do.
There were big characters in the hip hop game.
I do,
The Wu-Tang Clan and Busta Rhymes. These were the sort of.
It's like someone was saying someone was saying to me, I think it was after I showed a house, there was one of the tenants, I was talking to him while I was waiting for the next viewer.
Yeah.
And he was saying to me that he finds it quite interesting that nowadays kind of urban poets
Yeah.
are kind of what punk rock used to be.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of more the anarchists, but kind of because it's our generation, we're not as.
Well, we've got more consciousness.
Yeah.
We're more woke. There's the
I
word.
hate that
There's
phrase.
the word.
but that was-
You're going to mention Brexit in a minute,
I was
and
about
that's
to
my
say
least favourite word. But this is the woke Drake generation, man. But
Everyone's more empathetic.
so we're angry, but we're eco-conscious.
And we're aware of what's going on in the
It's
world.
true though.
Yes.
We are, and we
We
like,
We're more conscious than I am.
rather than woke, we're more awake. Let's put the
Yes.
A there. Let's put the A there, right? Let's get English.
We are woken.
But it's true that the spoken word art form has come back to in tough political times,
Yeah.
the people wanting to find something to say and actually not let music get in the way of it
Yeah.
and shape it or sell it or soften these bits and glamorize these bits. Let's just have the words and the feeling there.
Just the raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see how that hits. But even before punk rock, there was still great urban poets as well. And since punk, and you know what I mean. It wasn't as if punk.
No. He was just making the
link.
The link of the time. Obviously, the whole, obviously the voice that the punk rock era had, and that's what he was. I think he believes that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's true that.
Yeah.
We are the. It's like hip hop. The hip hop generation, they didn't think it was gonna last. They thought it would just die, and as it started, and now it's the popular music, and pop music is anything that's popular.
Yeah.
And hip hop music is the popular music right now, at this moment in time, because everything kind of. It feels like all music kind of branches out of it. Everything's fusion with mix and mash of either. Hip hop or dancehall or Afro beats, and all of the kind of genres that weren't so popular when they were more in a younger form. Now they're in fruition. They are taking over.
Yeah. But then again, it's weird because if you're a hip hop fan.
Yeah.
You don't wait for it. It's never gone out for you. So it's like you've always followed, because there's less, and it shifts, and it feels like there's more great acts around, or there's less, but you still stay following it. It's like someone was speaking to the grime artists, the ones like Skepta and Jamie and stuff, saying, "Oh, now you've got this renaissance with grime," and it's like. And those are hardworking guys. They didn't stop when grime stopped. They still performed.
Yeah.
And they were still gigging.
They were still
doing their thing.
Forming the culture and making it.
Yeah. So they said, well, we never went out for us. We were still waking up and doing our job. It's just swung back in for you guys.
Yeah.
I don't like it as much this time around because it feels a little bit like it's been hijacked by the guys that they were fighting last time, so who didn't get it. So they've taken hold of some of the aspects of grime and made it.
But it's more because I feel like, especially, it's more Americanized.
Yeah.
Because we UK we have a lot of I think they call it drill music.
Yeah, UK drill.
Yeah, UK drill. So it's
getting
like
a lot of.
To me, everything sounds the same. Every single flow sounds the same. Every single artist that's popping off, unfortunately, they sound the same to me. And it's not even that. Every song in the chart that I think is popular, they all sound the same.
Yeah.
There's no.
No, you're right.
Like I don't know if we've been talking for a while, but I can't think if we were talking about this on air or off it. But it's like the whole thing about, and I've lost my whole point.
Go.
What was I saying?
Bring
before?
it back. Music sounded the same.
Yeah. Do you know how everything sounded the same? No one kind of has that kind of free thought. It's like
there's only a certain frequency that can be popular at one moment.
Yeah, and maybe it's that.
You know what I mean? For the mainstream, but we're all the mainstream as well.
Yeah.
Because those tunes find a way into our head, and even when you don't go and actively listen to them, you know them.
Yeah.
In a way, I find it funny.
Yeah, no, it is.
Because they're done very basic. It's hypnotism.
Yeah.
It's actually a hypnotism frequency in pop songs that they. But I'm not saying it's like evil. I'm just saying that there's certain bits that get in. And I'm not actually. Some of my music mates will say this a lot more eloquent than me because I'm a word man.
Yeah. And
I don't particularly know all the frequencies and notes and chord structures. I recognise them with my ear because they pop up all through. And I listen to a lot of music.
Yeah.
But I mean, in a way, it's great because when you're working with acts or creating stuff, there's certain templates that are popular instantly and easy to create,
or replicate.
Replicate exactly. But to try and you can go off center, and then the beaten track is definitely good for people because it's challenging as well.
Yeah.
Not everything has to be a nice listen or a catchy listen. It can be a different type of listen. It can be a prolonged listen or a scary, you know, you watch a horror film and the music comes, good pieces of music, you know, but you could put it off the visuals and listen and still be scared by the music alone, you know.
I'm thinking like maybe the growth of hip hop is somewhat more linked to the access of music, because anyone can pretty much release music now, put it online, and someone will hear it. So especially things like SoundCloud, a lot of artists have come from SoundCloud, of
SoundCloud
just
rap,
someone hearing that song, a lot of blowing up off SoundCloud, and suddenly now they're in the charts.
That's all right though.
And that's absolutely amazing, but it just means, I don't think back in the day, say like in the 90s, it wasn't so easy for you to break into the music industry. So you might have wanted to do it, but you might not have had the means to maybe get your sound out there.
You couldn't get it out there.
Or the connections to get into the industry or whatever.
There's
more access to
the
internet out there.
That's it now. There's in a way what we're saying could be a positive thing as well, because it's like there's so much music out there for now.
100%.
And what's great is people get behind now. They're not just getting behind big known names. People will go to those bands, that poet that's got 5 followings. People will come and check out. And it seems like there's definitely a way for you to express yourself truer now and easier and quicker, but all the money and a lot of the credibility, you'd have acts like Bjork kicking around with people like Wu-Tang Clan kicking around, and not only would they be kicking around, they'd be in the charts alongside each other, because that was the last time, and there was still a lot of sharks around then, definitely so, and in the 60s, but you had some people coming to it who, in the management and label side, at least if there was only a few, there would be genuine music fans within that, and that's how you keep good artists. And they chuck big money at artists. They won't ever do that now. They won't chuck that much money at people like big egos like, you know, Liam Gallagher and Oasis. You know, they won't let people like that get in. And so after the 90s, there was a big thing of like watering it all down and taking complete control of the music industry, so that it was just, you know, manufactured. It all became manufactured. Pump the money, get the money
back into the industry. What we lost when we were just giving people these money.
Exactly. So you know, and it came about with all the kind of like pop idols and X Factors and things like this. But every time that happens, there's always a subculture. There's always a movement that will kick against it. So it all comes up and down like that. As soon as they get hold and water down, a rebel movement happens. The spoken word scene now, you know, that's the sort of thing where what can happen. So and they'll get hold of our art form and they'll bastardize it. Which
like
they already have.
Rap. Mumble rap.
Well, but even poetry. I mean, I don't watch much TV, but apparently there's a Nat. Fuck it, I've said Greg's enough. I'll say Nat West. You know, there's a Nat West advert with like a poem on, but it's shit.
No, do you know what? Nat West.
I haven't seen it.
They do have a collection of adverts where they have poets on them.
Are they any good?
Some of them all the ones I have heard, they were really good.
Okay.
But I think it was quite interesting. I was just like, whoa, why?
What that's bad for us is because basically, but is it? This is the great thing, because one thing that drew me to, and still draws me, both past and present, is that you can stand there and express yourself and no one's fucking with it.
Yeah.
Right? You could say something very dangerous and offensive. You could say something beautiful and polite. You stay there in the room with rude people, and you've got that. No one's selling it or manufactured, or you just
in a sense, it's kind of like comedy. It's the only time where you will be speaking to people, and they don't answer you.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
It's a weird space to be in. Like
exactly.
It's like you're not asking rhetorical questions. Of course, you want people to answer them, but you don't want them to answer out loud and ruin your set. But it's weird.
I like to play with that a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that space because
yeah.
it's like I think I said it in a poem where it's I can't remember what I said. No, the type of guy. No, that is something completely different. You can't. It's you're in this room and you can't really leave, but it's not like I'm trying to get to know you or want you to know me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like it's exactly that. You're in this room and you can't leave, but you need to just listen to me to the end. You might not enjoy what I'm saying, you might not like what I'm saying, but you have no choice but to listen until the clap comes.
Yeah, which is what we want from people so much of the time. We don't get. We get that in our art form.
But I think the difference between comedy and poetry is, in poetry, although someone might go up and you might not like them, or they might be terrible, or in poem might not make sense, you don't get hecklers.
No.
People will just hear you out until you come off. They'll still have this, you know, like, what is this? But no one will outwardly say you're terrible.
Not
get
at
off.
the moment.
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
Not yet. But oh my, it could happen. Not yet. But
I have had a heckler.
You have. Oh
yeah.
wow.
But listen to this. This isn't. Yeah, I might be the first poet to have a heckler. Is that right? No, not true. Because like people like John Cooper Clarke, when he went on for bands and stuff like that. I mean, that's because I suppose he was taking the poetry out of the poetry world and into the music where you're more open.
Yeah.
So, but what you're saying is true. I think that's amazing. But this maybe was what happened with me. It was a sheer misunderstanding. But I think like it was when I first, a couple of years back, when I was first getting into poetry. I was. It was quite angry. Some of my stuff, or even if the words weren't necessarily angry, I would be delivering it in that sort of way.
Before you continue with that, but what was it that got you into poetry?
What I just said before, weirdly, it was the one art form which I had total freedom and control over from creation to delivery. And I strive for that. Yeah. You know, I've done acting, and that was frustrating because when I'm in the scene and I'm in the work and I'm in the job and I'm grooving with the other person or the audience, I'm free. Yeah. But going to the audition, waiting around, speaking to having to see this person, going up, and the power and was in the scriptwriter's hands. You had to wait for the script to come in, and you had to do, and then you have to go against this person who looks a bit like you, and then we negotiate, and then they're going to give it to the producer's son anyway. And I was like, oh, but you're in the reserve list. And I was like, this is all right. So I was coming to it from like, right, I can write my own stuff. I can do my own thing. I don't need necessarily anybody's script or another person. I can just go and express. Which when you're in a scene and you're acting, or playing music or painting, it's that sense of complete freedom and the spontaneity of the act. Everything else disappears. You're just there.
So would you possibly maybe direct then?
Yeah. You mean direct?
As in like maybe write maybe a play or a short film or just a sketch or something
and
like
then
that.
Not acting it and just direct.
And just because
I'm very happy you said that. That's what I really want to do.
I'm in the process of doing it because it's kind of like I don't think like I could be in a piece and direct myself, but I feel like I could direct and put my idea into fruition and make that happen because I'll just be the outside eye, but then it's like I don't know, it's hard to explain.
No, I think that was very, that made a lot of sense. I made a lot of sense. I mean, you can't, at the same time, as much as you've got complete control and power to do everything, you also want to not hog it and try and do too many of the things and be confusing or egotistical or whatever. Yeah, I think I am working on a play at the minute, which is I thought was all done, and then I've read it and I'm like, oh, it's not quite on point.
What's the play about?
Well, it's let me just explain. So it's the finished. This is what's happened, and this is where I'm at. It's almost been like that was a practice run. So I wanted to find a way to write a play which incorporated poetry into it, as well as normal dialogue.
Yeah.
To find that flow. So I look back to the
Shakespeare, kind of.
yeah, but like not attempting to, like, you know.
But that's the
But-
only
but-
way
but-
I can kind of think of how it's kind of poetic in the verse.
Exactly, yeah, as well, which is very hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually I didn't pull it off, but getting all that out, I was looking at the Summer of the Riots, two Northerners in London.
Mm-hmm.
Summer of the Riots, it's their first summer down, and they are amongst all that things happening. But I was zooming in on the sort of non-stories of that summer. So them and their experiences in a rundown flat in Wood Green, and them being their friendships tested by girls, and it's like a coming of age thing. So these two buddies, and then amongst that, these sort of poetic political references
So
and
would
clubby
it just
nights
be
out.
two people in just two characters?
Yeah, there's other characters that pop up. So I was gonna have like some people double up and play a couple of roles. So it's finished, right? And I kind of like, okay, I know it's done for now. Is it? Do I fully believe that this is ready to go out and be put on? And no. Have I given up on it? No. But weirdly, I've gone straight into another one, and I'm finding that this one's fluidity is moving quicker, and I'm only very early stages of it. But I feel like writing that first one has given me a clear run-in to write this one. So I'm going to try and complete this one.
So the first one's play, is this now for screen that you're writing this one?
The second one.
Yeah,
It's no, for stage.
for stage. Okay,
Yeah, for
cool.
stage. So yeah, early for me, because generally my book that's coming out is a poetry book.
Ah, yes.
That's what I write. So it seems better that I'd get published as a poet first, rather than an area which I'm familiar with and have studied, but I've not written plays.
Yeah.
So I've written poems for a few years. Boom, complete. Writing the plays, it might be a case of they live on my laptop for a while and not much happens for a little bit, but by the time I put my poetry name out and keep tapping away, this might solve
You'll find
itself.
the
A timing for it, yeah. So it's still learning on that front with out and out dialogue and poetry coming together. But it's all, like I say, doing that first one gave me a great run in to just carrying on with the second one.
Well, if you don't mind, I would love to read it. If you,
Yeah.
I would love to give any ideas that I have,
Yeah.
or edit it in
Yeah.
any way, or something.
Yeah.
Because I love writing. I've written a few scripts of my own.
Yeah. What are you working on at the minute?
I've got a script that I've literally half finished, and it's about basically two guys and a girl. They all live in this block of flats, and they go to get into a lift. They all get into the same lift. They all press the 6 because they all live on the 6th floor. And they, instead of the lift going up, they end up down at minus 666. They end up on this floor.
Wow. Don't give too much away. This is amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to tell any more on this podcast.
So the
but
lift. Yeah.
Off the show.
That's enough. That's a
Yeah,
teaser.
of
It's a
course,
teaser.
of
It's a
course.
good pro. That's.
I can give you the.
To be honest, mate, you don't need to say any more. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
It's more.
So it's like purgatory, hell. Yeah. Like high. Yeah.
It could be purgatory. It could be hell.
Like high rise.
Hey man, I've got another idea. I don't want to say that out.
No. Keep
But,
them. Yeah.
I do. I have lots of ideas for shows, and more now because I don't know. My mom's always been saying to me that I need to just write into. Do you know, like back in the day, she was saying that I should have just keep writing into like BBC or Channel 4 and just keep sending them letters. I've got idea for a show. One day they might pick me up, but at that time, when she was saying it to me, I didn't have any ideas for shows.
Yeah.
And it's only now now we've come to this time where we don't really need a backing from a big media company to make my show happen. I've got things like YouTube, or I can then put my idea together and then shop around to different platforms and stuff like that. So it's not too bad. But yeah, enough about me. I want to talk about you, man.
Yeah.
I've done my research on you, so for the people at home who don't know you, whereabouts, where are you from?
Manchester.
You're from Manchester.
Stockport. Go to Manchester.
I have heard of that place. 'Cause
Yeah?
I have heard of that.
Yeah?
One thing I know about your accent isn't that strong.
Not anymore.
Oh, it wasn't strong.
Yeah, well, you come down speaking like this, you know, alright? Do you want to start a fucking band? Yeah.
I could
Do you want
never
to be the
imagine.
biggest band in the world? Yeah. Shall we call it Oasis? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's how I used to speak.
Oh wow.
No, I didn't really.
Oh wow.
No. I don't know, man.
And what about your heritage?
My heritage is my dad's from Mauritius.
Mhm.
And my mum is Irish. So yeah, and I'm born in England, in Stockport, and I've been down here good for about 5 years now. So some of my accent has gone down a little bit, but it wasn't. I never sounded like Liam anyway, because it's within the north, especially within Manchester. You've got someone from Salford would have a very different accent from somebody from Manchester.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, people, you know,
It's the same in
and
London.
then
Yeah.
if you move up to sort of Stockport or, you know, even from say like, you know, Cheshire to Brimington to it all varies, sort of variations on it. Yeah.
And what is like what inspires you to write?
To write,
Yeah.
mixture of things. It can be like last night I watched it was a classic, watched something, got me thinking, had to write my thoughts down. Simple as that. Watched the documentary, boom, it was instant. That's more clear cut. Some days it's just people saying funny shit that I'm like, that's got to go in a poem. I ain't going to tell you, but that's going in a poem, you know? The people are like, oh wow. And then other days it's just I've got something in me that isn't even poetic. It's just that needs to come out to make me carry on. So that'll come out, and weirdly, so it's just I just write when the feeling's there and something comes, or something hits me and I feel like there's some sort of something flowing, starts to rumble. That's when I know I've got to get the pen.
So is it more like a outlet for you, like a therapy kind of?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Because the way how you describe it, it kind of sounds
Feels like that.
Yeah.
Well, when I create and I get that out, there's a
Yeah.
therapeutic feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
But do I write because I need it to be that?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
not necessarily. Because I've written something. It's nice to bend your mind away from yourself or your problems and get into the space of another individual. Therefore, you're channeling their anger and their rage.
Yeah.
Suddenly, your pen comes out. It isn't that you need therapy, it's because you're feeling their therapy.
Yeah.
And then there's still a therapeutic feeling. When I was in America, I was like going around some of the Native American roots and getting into that, going to Alcatraz and learning about when it was occupied in the 60s and looking, and I was just, you know, feeling their anger and some of those poems were coming through in me, allowing my own emotions to get caught up in theirs. So, you know, it's yeah. That's what I'm saying is you express other people's emotions through
It's true.
through what you do.
Empathy kind of.
Yeah,
Is it
not just your own.
so? Because I was reading a bio, because I was looking online. I was like, oh, I can't just go into this podcast and not have things and questions and stuff like to ask, because I'm interested in people and where they've come from and
Yeah.
how they've grown and
Yeah.
where it's taken them. So like, I was reading that you went to the National Theatre.
National Youth
or
Theatre.
National
Yeah,
Youth
yeah,
Theatre,
yeah. Yeah, did a couple. They're a good organisation. Weirdly, it feels like that was quite a while back, and actually,
What year did you?
oh God, 2000 and something.
That's where we are, man.
Yeah, but it's like what they did is they just gave like a good acting training that wasn't in a drama school route.
Yeah.
Where you had to pay loads for, and you get the same training, and they'd actually throw you out there and put plays on. And back when I was doing it, you know, they didn't have. Now they're very broad, and they've got people from all sorts of walks of life and background. But you know, they didn't have that many Northerners, and just because they were London based, you know, they weren't doing much.
Yeah.
They weren't doing much regional stuff. So it was great for me to come in and do that. But you know, I see, like, you know, in a weird way, again, I love that the acting side. It's like when you're out there on stage, all right, you're playing a character and you're saying certain lines, but there's still that freedom of no one can fuck with this moment type of thing.
Yeah.
Which is what I always come back to is that feeling as well, whether, you know,
The power in words.
yeah.
Is this the dream for you? Like, what do you? How do I put this? What is your dream? What is the dream for you?
In what way?
Like, in a perfect world, if everything fell into place, what would that? Where do you see yourself?
That we all in a dream world, I see everybody waking up and realizing that we're all one mass consciousness, and the only thing we need to express to each other is love, without any sense of ownership or attachment, and everything we have we could share, and you know, we, whether that's people or food or land, that's my dream situation, you know. But maybe that would be boring. You know, maybe that would be shit. Maybe it'd be too happy, too bliss.
Boring.
I don't know. Do we enjoy some of the darkness that goes on? As writers, do we, what I'm getting to is,
Yeah, we do.
do we?
It
You
helps, It helps. It really does.
You know what I'm
help.
saying? You can't have everybody waking up saying, I'm in love, I love you. What?
is
That's
this?
it, the end. We
We need
darkness.
conflict or something.
We need darkness, we need
Yeah.
conflict, we need drama.
Yeah.
So what I just said is potentially bullshit, but also a feeling that we all want.
Yeah.
But there's that thing, that paradox constantly working. If that does happen when we all get peace and bliss, will some guy just go, should we start some shit for no other reason than just to make things interesting? Shall we just fuck the established order up? Because if the established order always needs fucking up, and if established order is just peace and love, you know that some punk's gonna go smack someone just to fucking mix it up. I don't know, my dream situation, like artistically,
Yes.
like is what's happening, but it just needs to generate more and more interest.
Yeah.
Just carry on doing what I'm doing and reach more people.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on what I'm doing, reach more people. Carry on what I'm doing, reach more people. That's my only goal.
That's good.
You know, if I can make it's nothing you shouldn't be ashamed to say. You want to make a living off it as well.
Yeah, of
So
course.
cut down all the other little day jobs. If they can disappear and I've got enough to get by, you know, I write down here these post-its. I know we're on radio, but this is what I've got. These are what I look at sometimes before I go to bed. So it's the money ones, because we have a weird relationship with money. We think it's evil. It's just an energy. It's what you project onto it.
Yeah.
So if you keep saying, oh, it's evil, it's evil, it's evil, you won't bring any in. If you keep saying I respect it, it's an energy that can make me have stuff, then maybe I'll bring it in. And I need to bring enough in to just so I can carry on creating without having to go and do those other jobs
It's
that
like putting positive energies out there. Yeah.
onto the something that might be evil.
Yeah.
And by that you bring it in. Money isn't evil. I respect and love it for giving me an awesome life. Yeah, very cheesy, but it's so cheesy that I'm just like, yeah, why not? Yeah, straight out of an American self-help book. Yeah, that's a quote. This one's one of mine. All the money I need will come to me. I just ticked it. So I just ticked it.
You ticked it.
Yeah, I just ticked it. Have I got what I need right now? Yeah.
That's legit.
Have I got more or less? No, I've got what I need.
Yeah.
Tick. Yeah. What have we got? What's got? There we go. There's another one. Not money related. Do we paint what's on the face, what's inside the face, or what's behind it?
Did you write this? Is this yours?
No.
Okay. That's very
No.
deep, though.
No.
Huh.
Try and paint all of them, right?
Yeah, we tried.
Yeah.
But you can't paint all of them
Yeah.
at the same time.
Basically, I've got a few here, like, where my world is at. So yeah, the money ones, some are from like cheesy books, some I've just written down myself, and then so that's that. That's when, and then they've got the painting one for when I paint. So before I start, I'll have a look at that and go, okay, what am I gonna paint? And then we got the man who writes about himself and his own time is the only man who writes about all people and all time. Sick, right?
You can be anyway, just like, oh, what noise is
Slow motion left side.
Oh, that's... Yeah.
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 And I don't even write the people's names down who wrote these things, man, because it's just like, I don't want to know. But
It's better if you just read it, mind
Yeah.
blown. Yeah.
So that's for when I'm writing, and I feel like, wow, I'm just saying about me. Is it just me doing bad and putting it in paper? Is it me about having a late night, doing too much gear, and then waking? Is that really what people want to hear?
Yeah.
Is that really peace and love and something to aspire to? No, but it's real.
Yeah.
It's coming from me, and the man who writes about himself and his own time is the only man who writes about all people at all time.
was
Sean
just
Rivers,
like,
thank you.
I was like, that is it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's so very true.
So just keep it real.
Yeah.
And then what else we got? This is the spiritual side. This is when I need to be like, okay, let the money go, let the painting go, let the poetry go. What? Let the poetry go? Yeah, let it go. No, I don't want to. Sean, let it go. Who's Sean? Now we're talking. A realised being, wherever he looks, sees nothing or all things simultaneously and knows them to be the same.
Say that again.
A realised being, wherever he looks, sees nothing and all things simultaneously and knows them to be the same.
It's too deep for me to comprehend right now, but I'm going to be walking like in a couple of days or in a week from now, and I'm just going to be like, oh my days, that was...
The interconnection
Yeah.
between everything in the world
Yeah.
is happening at the same. Past, present,
and
future is one continuum. Me, you, that person, one. There's things that are relative, that we relate to, and there's things that, one thing that's absolute, human consciousness
Yeah.
in it. Just experiencing each other in itself at the same time. Boundless, no clocks. There's no clocks. No clocks. You know what I mean? What else have we got?
This is like, I usually do a section called Random Facts in
Yeah.
my show, but
You're liking this?
yeah, this is now the Sean Rivers.
Hijacking. I'm turning into the host. No, but there's no host. I love hearing these.
You're the
Like,
co-host.
we're all the same person anyway,
Yeah, man.
so right. I'm gonna have a non-deep one a minute.
Okay.
Just because they're important as well. And this was a guy at a pub I'm working at who's crazy Argentinian legend, and just when he moved, he worked there years ago, and then I didn't work there, and then he came back in and just did a guest appearance, and it was like this legendary return. It was like Jesus Christ, his second coming figure had come for like just summer, and then he went. So I got a taste of he was quite tame, but he's still wild, but he toned it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But he was still a character. And as he left, he threw me the keys to the pub as a joke to say they're yours now, jokingly. And we got fucked up loads of times together, but one night, he was never passing much information on to me. Just like, yeah, do what you want, everything will be fine. But some of the other managers would try and give, not that I'm a manager, but they were trying to line me up. So he never gave me much or whatever. And I thought that was good. I saw that, I was like, yeah, he thinks I can just do it anyway. One night we got fucked up and I got off the bus, he got off the bus first. And I was carrying on, and it was on silent. When I got back in, he left me a voice message. And it was just like, yeah, Sean, the only advice I have for you, man, is never stop the fun. Always have more fun than everybody else. Okay? Listen to that and you'll be fine, mate. All right? And I was like, and I had to write it down. I was like, it's not the most poetic line. It's basically just saying, if you always are having the most fun in there, basically, you're doing something right. And nothing goes wrong. So don't get stressed and look round and get serious. You need to be the guy who's having the most fun. Kind of cool.
It's just like, do you know, like when someone's just having so much fun, you're like, what is that guy on?
Yeah. That's my motto. If you're like that, everybody's going to be like, oh. What else we got? Yeah, simple ones. Faith. What actually is faith? Because it was like, faith sounds like a bit of a lame word. Just in like when you hear it, it's like, have faith. Almost sounds like when you're like really down and you need something to cling to, and they're like, have faith, and it's almost a bit desperate. It doesn't sound like strength, does it?
No.
It sounds like, but I've read somewhere that faith is actually having the audacity to believe in the not yet seen. So it's the invisible that exists, but you have to believe in it so much it becomes a reality.
Yeah.
Innit?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it or other people don't also believe in what you're believing in, then that's not going to happen.
Which comes round to the final two of basically believe that you can have what you desire. It already exists. Go and get it. Playing small simply withholds your gifts from people who were meant to receive them. Deciding is freedom. Indecision is torture. And what you choose to focus on anyway becomes your reality. So what you cut out disappears essentially from the world. Because the world is your mind. Anyway, what you are sending out and have inside your mind will come into you.
Yeah.
So you can train the pyramid in your brain to bring in what you truly want. You can bring in. Essentially, which it's hard to get to that because we're constantly, our minds are being hijacked. They're being pulled in different directions. But when we have clear, straightforward thinking, visualization of the goals, and they're coming from an honest place, all things will materialize when they're supposed to, and we have nothing to worry about.
Like, it's the whole thing about it will be all right on the night kind of thing.
Yeah, innit?
I'm not sure how it's gonna all come together, but I'm pretty sure if we just wing it, it will work out.
Yeah.
And usually, 9 times out of 10, it does. It just works out. Like, you don't know how it just happens.
I like that we're like approaching as we come to not the end just yet, but the closing down. I feel great because we're going on a high, on a positive. Do you know what? This
whole show, like, it's been a completely different show to what I usually do.
Yeah.
But it's like, because we had this whole, everything happens for a reason. Unfortunately,
like the whole thing with them running back, it was like, okay, what did you think when you saw who's this guy now scrambling up? What did you think?
What did I think? I just thought, like, you might have just left your keys in the house, run out, or because you said you went to you always have your keys, so it must be at the only place that you took your wallet out where your keys would have been held. So
I mapped it in my head. I got it back.
So literally, if you called them and they said they didn't have the keys, then I would have been like, what?
Yeah.
But it's lovely the way that it all worked out, and then it gave us the time to kind of, because we've, like what you were saying
before, chatting in gig spaces. intense. You don't get the real person. You know.
Exactly that. So you were saying we only really spoke about after the poetry nights, and it's only been kind of quick, rushed kind of conversation.
Yeah.
But when we met and then we were walking back to the charity shop and walking back here, it's just like we had that kind of small time to kind of
Yeah.
get a rapport.
Yeah.
And then now we've kind of
Yeah.
brought it into the show, and it's kind of the same kind of energy. We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And it's so... right at the beginning, I felt like this weird feeling, because I was like, this is so weird. Like, everything that you're saying, I have...
We created the perfect third entity.
Yeah, exactly.
We swap roles. I had, what the hell are these?
Oh, this is like... it's like you like you were saying, you talk it into fruition. Like you were saying about the third entity, and then we kind of, this is what this episode is going to be called.
Yeah.
My opinion means the third entity.
Yeah.
Because we literally talked it into the third person, and
that's what we did right here.
Yeah, and literally
I created you, you created me.
And
together we created everything you see. Endless dreams and melodies drowning slowly, lost at sea. Are we destined to remain an unfinished symphony?
Jeez.
That's one of mine.
But quickly before we end, I just want
to unfinished symphony.
I wanted to ask you about becoming resident poet at Chocolate Poetry Club.
Big up Chocolate Poetry.
Yep. I want to have them on the show soon.
Yeah.
But how did that come about, and what made you want to...
So, they approached me I applied, and we've been working together on done a few festivals together, gone down to their nights, and just very keen to get involved with that organisation and where they're going and what they're doing. Cool people involved.
100%.
Always a strong night. Always a high standard of open micers that come down, because not all the poetry nights are, but we somehow pull in people that are usually on point.
Like you say,
right? I don't know how that happens.
The energy that you put out, you bring in those kind of people.
Everybody who is there, it was Paul, Essie, they're all like big figures, and they want to get bigger and expand. So you have to play the game to an extent, but they just do that in such a beautiful way. So they're only getting people on board that genuinely have the right energy and ideas.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's getting fair trade chocolate or working with Rewrap.
That's the recent one.
Or soon it will be Fairphone as well.
Oh.
I think I don't know if I was allowed to say that, but
Wow.
Paul's gonna. I've just said it. So they're bringing in the right the right people, and we just did field day together.
Yeah, how was that? I've been seeing the posts all over Instagram.
I always go to field day every year as a punter anyway.
Whereabouts is it? Because I've heard of it, but I've never actually been.
It's moved. It was in Victoria Park.
Okay.
And now it's in Brockwell and Brixton. It worked it works brilliantly in Brockwell. Quite liked having it in a different place as well. We did the poetry tent there. We had nice people come down. I do like, other stuff outside of Chocolate Poetry, and I'm new to them, but very happy and excited to be working with them. They're pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And my last question I have for you is, say there's an aspiring poet out there that's unsure of if they're on the right path, or they maybe need some advice. What one piece of advice would you give to anyone who's an aspiring poet or performer or creative out there?
I'd say, close your eyes, turn all those little monkeys in your brain off, find the biggest voice, find what it needs to say or what it needs to express, open your eyes again and just go and do it. And that's it.
That's dope. I'm going to enjoy listening to that part back and write it down. That's dope.
Let's do more, man.
Yeah, man. Come on the show again, but...
I feel like the end segment was what our whole segment should have been. True that.
We could do another show. I want to do.
See, if you'd have said, Sean, I want to get spiritual tonight, I'd have been like, right.
Hey man, this is what I find on my show anyway. We just always spin one piece of conversation.
Once we get past relationships and race,
I know,
we're in the fucking great beyond.
But yeah, I want to do a string of bonus episodes which
Yeah.
are just based on one specific topic.
Yeah.
And maybe have a couple other people from
Yeah.
previous shows, and we all meet up and we all
Well, yeah.
have more.
Well, this was
opinions.
pretty
Yeah.
last minute.
Yeah,
I
I know.
texted you last night. I was like, oh, yeah, I was supposed to do your show. Not being a cunt. Just had loads of shit going on. So I didn't get back. I really want to do it. He's like, yeah. Fucking when? I'm like, tomorrow. And he's like, okay. So we literally how we did it. That's like how it should be, man.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to have you back on the show, man. It's been a.
Let's go deep.
Yeah.
Let's go there. And then what happened is we'll try and do that, and it'll be like we'll hit like these shallow walls, and we'll be like awkward as fuck, and we'll have to start talking about The Only Way Is Essex or Celebrity Love Island. Do a Celebrity Love Island special. I tried watching it. I tried watching it. Alright, I'm doing it before we go out. Tried watching it. It's been on 2 nights. First night went down. I'll give it a whirl. Why not? Fuck it. I know it's everything I'm against, but for that reason, I'm excited. You know what I mean? Sat down, and you know.
Oh, what was it? No, carry on talking.
Oh yeah. Sat down and was just like, I already feel a bit queasy, you know, and I don't want it to become like me. Like, yeah, there's loads of attractive people there, but it was like, you know, I'd been upstairs reading like The New Scientist, and then I'd gone and watched that, and it felt like almost like a come down from consciousness, and then I was like, oh god, I feel queasy, and I cut off halfway through, came back up and continued reading this, which is I'm promoting The New Scientist, Greg's, who else was it? Royal Bank of Scotland, but then last night I was like, no, Sean, you've got to go down and see the whole episode, prove it to yourself. Don't go down there, feel sick, and come back and read your magazine. Go to the shop, you know, buy some junk food, yeah, and watch it. And I watched the whole episode, and I enjoyed it last night. I genuinely enjoyed it, man. Oh, man, there was one girl who had split choice between 2 guys, and she actually said to one guy, I wish I could merge you 2 together to create, almost, dare I say, the ultimate third entity. This guy's face was like, wow, 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 wow. It was like, and he's like, came back and he's like, I can't believe she said that. She wanted, and then he got the word wrong. He said mesh, which sort of works, but it was merge. He went, I can't believe she wants to mesh me together. She's basically saying she wants my personality in his fit body. I'm a good looking guy. I mean, he's almost too good looking. I was like, this is gold. How is this not funny?
I mean, this is why I watch reality TV.
That was gold.
I mean, I don't watch it for the invested into it, but the actual drama that comes away from it, because my favorite reality TV show is X on the Beach. Have you heard of it?
I've seen a little bit. I know the premise. The title says it.
It's such a crazy concept, and the best part about it is there's no host. It's all
Yeah.
done by a tablet.
Yeah.
The tablet pings off and it tells you what you need to do. You have to
Yeah.
go down to the beach, and someone's ex is coming to the island, and you don't know whose ex it's going to be, and it could be a recent ex, or it could be an ex from way in the past that suddenly comes on the island and now single, and then she's on the island with you, or you might have had a bad breakup, or you might have had a good
It's
breakup.
still dangerous though.
Yeah,
right?
and she's all flirting with all the other guys,
It's a
and
bit dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah,
to,
it's very
to put. I mean, but then that makes me go. It is a bit of a script as well, isn't it? So they're
Yeah.
all they're in on it as well.
yeah, of course,
kind of thing.
of course. But
What did I put on water? There it is. Sorry, right next to me. It always is. You go all over to realise it was in front of you. But, I've got to ring my mum soon.
But yeah, we can. Yeah,
You
cool.
9:15, yeah.
Yeah, we'll call that the end of the show. I'll just do the outro.
Yeah, no, but I because my mum is sort of in Manchester, and yeah, she it's always good to get that voice. You know what I mean? It wasn't the right time. It was all like, yo, yeah, got to get my keys. I'll bear you back later. But yeah, you got to check in once in a while with people and stuff like that. But yeah, what do you think of my fish?
Is it a goldfish?
It's a Japanese shabumpkin,
Like,
which is gives it that fin tail.
Huh.
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. just him alone.
I know, it's weird. That's the first. Isn't it weird that now the face I see when I wake up is the fish? That's the first thing I'm seeing. I wonder what that must do to me. I don't know. We're kind of the same, aren't we? Just alone in this room, floating around in this universe. You know what I mean? And they're pretty zen, aren't they? They're bringers of acid. They're fish are bringers of good luck. They're good looks, good luck and calmness vibe. Maybe that's what I need right now. And to be honest, yeah, all right, he's in a tank on his own, but maybe it's safer than him being in the sea with all that plastic.
True.
You know? It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope I've been a good...
You've been it's been a
Talker.
completely different show. Like I said, it's a completely different show, but I like these type of shows.
Yeah.
It's different. And that's why I have a different co-host on different shows.
I want to
because
do...
I like having different energies and seeing how it works and how different people bring it out and what opinions bring out and what conversations.
We could do one before. Yeah, I mean, we could the big questions. You know.
Yeah.
So not the big political questions, but the bigger questions.
Yeah.
See where we go with that.
That'd be a cool one.
And I'm liking bringing in the quotes as well and seeing what they've playing around with that.
But yeah, thank you very much for listening to My Opinion Means Nothing, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you haven't, more for you for sat down at home listening to this episode for an hour and 45 minutes. You're an idiot. You know?
Yeah, you should have left ages ago.
I know, right? So this has been a wonderfully different show for me, and I hope you guys at home have enjoyed this, and I hope you listen to it and share it. And like I was saying when Sean went to the toilet, follow us on Instagram.
Is that what you were saying?
My Opinion Means the same for Twitter.
Look, I'm going to ring my mum. You keep talking about Instagram. You know, I'll be back in an hour. We'll pick back up.
And send us an email at myopinionmeans@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys, and goodbye.